The Martians kidnap Santa because there is nobody on Mars to give their children presents. I'm Corey.
And I'm Paul.
And we are the B-Movie Bros.
Here we review B-movies to the best of our abilities.
Sometimes we get off topic, but randomness is a gift. So welcome as we continue Christmas month. We've just witnessed the 1964 film, Santa Claus versus the Martians. Now, I say witnessed because I don't feel like I watched a movie. I feel like I was witness to some kind of crime here.
I feel like it just kind of happened.
Watching this movie, an alternate title could have been Santa Claus is a drunk and the Martians are a bunch of pussies.
People in silly costumes do stuff.
Santa Claus Conquers, not versus. Oh, I guess, yeah, that's right. One of the things we keep messing up on this movie, it is Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
Even though I feel like versus kind of works better.
Yeah.
Because, like, you didn't really conquer anything.
Exactly. So, you heard the description from IMDb. And what were you expecting out of this movie, Paul?
I was expecting Santa Claus to, like, be fighting Martians. Like, Martians are trying to take over Earth. And he goes, fuck this shit, this is my territory. So, he goes, gets his army of elves, and they're, like, you know, shooting him up and everything, you know, bash him over the head with, like, giant candy canes and shit.
I mean, yeah, I was expecting Santa Claus to actually, like, conquer the Martians, not just kind of, like, be this drunk old fool who just complains about having to push buttons all day.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I think for every movie so far, I've been expecting Santa Claus just beating the shit out of stuff. Zombies, everything else.
I mean, Santa Claus did explode zombies with his mind, we think.
Brief, maybe, yeah. In Santa Claus versus the Zombies.
So let's just jump right into our technical difficulties. Top three and bottom three about this movie. I just want to say, it was really, really hard to find, like, a top three on this. So let's just get that out of the way, Paul. I'm going to go first here. Number three, Santa Claus, he smokes a pipe, which is, it's pretty badass. He is probably drunk the whole movie, which I can relate to. I mean, I wanted to be drunk this whole movie. So I feel like Santa was fulfilling that for me. Smoking his pipe, drinking whatever he was drinking, that eggnog or that peppermint schnapps or candy cane liqueur.
It's like he was warning you against the movie, like, right up front. You should be smoking or drinking something. It was really nice when you think about it.
Number two is actually the character Drapo. You know, he's an idiot. He's an imbecile. But he does give you most, if not all, the laughs that this movie has to offer. I mean, there's nothing else to really describe him other than he's a bumbling idiot. Number one, I actually really enjoy the Martians' costumes. There's just something genuinely exciting for me about seeing something so different when it comes to Martians. Martians are normally, like, very, not that their costumes aren't flashy, but very bright colored, very, like, tight-fitting, or extremely outlandish. Where they're more like a regal, they have more of a regal costume, they wear capes, and they have, like, a crest on their chest. And they have these weird, like, metallic helmets with antenna on them. They're just, like, so cute. They look like fucking the rabbit ear antennas from old TVs where you, like, walk up and turn the dial. Like, I love it.
Like a very stereotypical kind of alien where they just do weird things to show that they're not human, basically.
So yeah, those are my top three. Those are the three best things I could find about this movie. So Paul, what are your top three? What did you find?
Okay, for number three, the motivations for the Martians invading was just awesome. They didn't have a Santa Claus on their planet and wanted to capture ours so that their children could, I don't know, appreciate Christmas or something like that. That's just such a great motivation. I appreciated that very much. Number two, I enjoyed the low-budget kind of charm of this movie. The sound quality was awful. The lighting was terrible. The props and effects were so cheap. Like, they've got levers and shit to work everything. The fucking robot in this movie, it basically made a tinfoil walking around. It was just fucking beautiful. Also going on that one, in, like, some of the scenes, the colors are so distorted. You'll see part of it's in black and white and part of it's in color. It's so cheap and it's just amazing. I love that. And for number one, I mean, I have to go with, in this world, Santa Claus exists and he's basically a celebrity.
The movie starts out with a fucking broadcast from the North Pole.
He's a fucking celebrity.
A reporter goes into Santa's warehouse, toy shop thingy, and is, like, interviewing Santa Claus. And it's like, Santa is real. Like, no. He's real. Okay, here he is. Alright, so let's get into the bottom 3 of this movie. So, number 3 for me on Mars' biggest problem is they don't have a Santa Claus. I mean, seriously, talk about fourth world problems here. You don't have a Santa. Oh my god, how do you fix that? Go to the fucking store and buy your kids some toys. Oh, we don't have toys on Mars. Well, fucking make toys. You have Earth television. See what the commercials are advertising. Use your advanced Martian technology. Make something for the kids to play with. Number 2, the Martians are boring as shit. They don't know how to interact. They don't know how to do anything. Their dialogue is droll. They're emotionless, which is part of the movie. That's why they're trying to kidnap Santa Claus, because they don't know how to express feelings and they want to learn all that shit. But it doesn't do me any good.
They remind me a lot of the aliens from Plan 9 from Outer Space. If this movie had been made by Ed Wood, no one would have been surprised.
Number 1 for me, in the culmination of all of this crock of shit that's going on here, the climax of the movie is a giant battle between fucking Billy, Betty, the Martian kids, and fucking whatever the Martian warrior's name is.
Who cares?
The Martian warrior has his Martian super Martian gun thing, and the kids have toys. They have fucking marshmallow guns and other various toys that they just pick up and throw at him. And he's got this Martian ray gun thing, and he's powerless against the children. So the fate of both worlds, Mars and Earth, rests in the hands of these children throwing toys at this grown-ass Martian man who's talking about Martians being this great warrior race, and he's got his great porno stash and his great ray gun, but he can't defeat the children because they're not affected by the power of porno stash.
This is like Home Alone meets Alien Abduction or something like that.
It's just like, what the fuck? Like, is this seriously how we're gonna do this? Like, it's not gonna be like some hug it out, like, let's have a group therapy, talk about our emotions. No, we're gonna fucking throw toys at each other. So the moral of the story is, if your home is being invaded by aliens, throw marshmallows at them, because you'll win. Paul, what are your bottom 3 for this movie?
For number 3, everyone's so fucking passive in this movie. The kids find out that Martians are attacking. Oh, well, I guess they're Martian. They don't find it weird at all. And I guess when Santa Claus exists in your universe, then it's like, well, whatever. Try better. Martians, oh, who gives a shit? But, like, everyone's just kind of going along with it. The Martians are just like, yeah, we're going to kidnap Santa Claus now. And when Santa Claus is like, oh, I guess I'm being abducted, whatever. For number 2, I'm going to have to go with, how the fuck do these Martians speak English?
How the fuck do the Earthlings speak Martian?
Or both. Like, it just reminds me of that episode of The Simpsons where they meet Kang and Kodos for the first time, and it's like, oh, you know English. No, we're speaking our native language. By an astonishing coincidence, it's exactly the same as English. I guess there's like a universal language, but as far as I can tell,
It's the magic of Santa Claus. Santa is like the TARDIS. He translates everything.
But even though
he emits a translating aura
all over the planet, I guess.
Exactly, because how else would Santa be able to communicate with children all over the world? How would he be able to write in all those different languages? He doesn't. He writes it in whatever his native tongue is, and his language filter changes it to whatever.
To like alien species he's never even met before.
Hey, you know, space-time continuum.
Sure, let's go with that. So for number 1, Santa Claus did not conquer any Martian. He just kind of got captured and taught them the Christmas spirit, and then the kids fought them with toys. There was no Santa conquering Martians. There was no anything like that. It was Santa Claus versus, like, conquers the Martians, but there was no conquering.
So there you have it. We didn't mention anything about dialogue, so let's get into a little bit of a Cold War. I'm gonna start. Are you a television set?
What a stupid question.
Danger grows with every minute. We need to grab Santa and get out.
You won't get away with this, you Martians.
That's what you're all becoming. Martian mellows, soft and weak.
Get him, Torg.
If you have a favorite quote from this movie, tweet us at BMovieBros, it's all one word, or tell us on Facebook at B-movie space BROS, that's BMovieBros, or here on SoundCloud. Tell us who won this episode's quote or what your favorite quote was of it. Yeah, you can also tweet Paul directly at BMoviePaul, that's all one word. I just want to note that this movie was made on a budget of $200,000. This is on the top 100 worst movies of all times, as according to the Razzies. let's just get into our final take here. We'll give you a score on our shot scale. Remember, our shot scales are a reverse scale. 1 to 10, 1 being the best, 10 being the worst. How many shots do you need to take to get through this movie? I'm going to give this movie an 8 out of 10.
I'm going to be a little bit nicer and say I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
Here's the reason I give it an 8 out of 10. Boring. Terrible plotline, terrible progression, terrible character interactions. The only redeeming qualities are the character's Drapo, whatever the robot fuck's name was, and the fact that Santa being seemingly drunk the whole movie. You know, the Martians suck because they aren't people-y enough in the emotion department, and the people are too Martian-y in the I don't give a fuck department. Also, you know, it does have a kick-ass surfer-esque theme song, which I fortunately have already forgotten. Just watch the Mystery Science Theater 3000 version. You know, that's my suggestion.
Alright. For me, this movie is bad, but, you know, it's kind of fun to watch. It's entertaining, to say the least. I like the idea of Santa Claus fighting against aliens, even if there really wasn't any actual fighting, except the very end. Santa was way too passive. The sound quality, special effects, and the acting were all bad, but they were laughably bad. So this movie really is one of those it's so bad it's good kind of things. However, there really wasn't much to remember of it. It's kind of one of those movies that just kind of passes by. You remember the title of it, but everything that actually went on, you just kind of forget at least a day afterwards. So overall, not really worth watching again. It was charming, it was kind of cute, but ultimately, you gotta drink through this movie, or if you, for some reason, you don't have any alcohol, watch the Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode of this, and you'll have a much better time.
If there were a time or a legitimate reason to drink eggnog, Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. That's it.
There you go.
Let's give this movie an A-movie companion. In this segment, we like to compare a B movie, like the one we're reviewing, to an A-class movie, a higher-class movie, something of an upper echelon, and tell you why that movie is just an A-class version of this movie. I'm going to have to do a repeat here. You know, even though we were talking about it, and I could draw a lot of parallels between Santa Claus Conquers the Martians and The Nightmare Before Christmas, with the kidnapping Santa Claus and bringing joy and happiness to a different culture and all the rickety-rackety that belongs to that. I'm going to have to say, because this is specifically a Martian movie,
and because you're a lazy asshole,
I'm going to have to go with the 1996 Tim Burton film, Mars Attacks. Again.
My movie is the 2002 movie Signs by M. Night Shyamalan.
So yeah, Mars Attacks. In Mars Attacks and in Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, there are, of course, Martians. In both movies, at least in the beginning, the Martians come seemingly in peace. In Mars Attacks, they're prompted by doves flying to start killing people. In Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, they really just wanted to kidnap Santa Claus and not do anybody any harm. In both movies, the Martians have very advanced technology and advanced weaponry, but also, this movie is called Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. In Mars Attacks, the actor Jim Brown worked at a casino and he wore an Egyptian getup, and he at one point does conquer the Martians through physical violence, which is what Santa should have done in the beginning of this movie. So yeah, that's why Mars Attacks is just an A-movie version of Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
Alright, so for my A-movie companion, as I said before, is the Signs. Both movies were mostly about aliens invading Earth. Both movies featured aliens invading Earth for unusual reasons. In Santa Claus Conquers the Martians invaded Earth to kidnap Santa Claus to bring cheer and joy to the children of Mars. And in Signs, the aliens invaded the Earth to, I don't know, stand on buildings and dick around or something. It's never really explained. In both movies, the aliens had bizarre weaknesses. In Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, most of the Martians were very susceptible to laughter and Christmas cheer, and apparently couldn't fight against children with toys. And in the movie Signs, aliens are weak to water. Both titles of each movie were, I think, deliberately, misleading. Santa Claus versus the Martians, he did not actually...
Conquers the Martians.
Yeah, Conquers the Martians. He did not actually conquer Martians through power, or he didn't dominate over them. He simply kind of changed their outlook and their power structure through kindness and Christmas spirit. In the movie Signs, the title Signs you think is about signs of alien life, when later on in the movie you learn that it's actually signs of divine intervention through things that happen in the movie that help the characters survive the alien invasion.
Or signs as in crop circles, or signs from the aliens.
Yeah, but overall, the main point of it was signs of, like, from... you can draw parallels of both
No,
of
I
them.
mean, like, you were led to believe that it was about, like, the signs left by aliens when, that was, like, 2 seconds of the movie.
Yeah, ultimately it was about signs of divine intervention from a guy who lost his faith and gained it back through things he saw that helped him and his family survive the alien invasion.
Spoiler alert. Swing away.
Yeah. So, yes, that is why Signs is an A-movie version of Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
I feel like Santa Claus Conquers the Martians should have been Gladiator. Like, fucking Santa Claus gets enslaved by this alien nation because he's this great, powerful, person. He's thrown into, an arena where he has to fight things to the death. And ultimately, he overthrows the Martian government and becomes their emperor.
Yeah, I'm still disappointed I haven't yet to see a movie of Santa Claus just beating the shit out of, like, aliens or zombies or anything. I've been disappointed by every single one of these Santa movies so far.
I mean, the only way the only way I've really seen Santa be like that is fucking South Park's Woodland Critter Christmas.
Exactly.
He just pops up and starts blowing the woodland critters away with their Satan baby. So yeah, let's try and forget about this movie by doing our favorite segment here, and let's give the people some ways to drink away the flick. Drink away the flick. Come on and grab your drink. Let's drink away the flick. Here, Paul and I are going to give you some drinking games to help you get through this piece of shit. Number 1. Every time the Martians mention laziness, drink. Number 2. Whenever Santa Claus seems like he's drunk, drink. Number 3. Anytime a Martian wants to be violent, take a drink. Number 4. Anytime Santa does something that's seemingly magical, take a drink. Number 5. Because it's Christmas month, anytime Santa makes an appearance, take a drink.
Every time the Martians fight amongst themselves about how to save Mars, take a drink. Every time Santa makes one of the Martians laugh or teaches them about the Christmas spirit, take a drink. Every time the kids are underwhelmed by the fact they've been abducted by aliens, take a drink. Every time toys are made or used to fight the Martians, take a drink. Every time a news reporter or someone from NASA talks about Santa Claus, take a drink. And finally, drink for every ho, ho, ho.
And those are your ways you can drink away the flick. If you want to join us next month as we conclude Christmas month, we'll be doing a very special episode of B-Movie Bros with one of my personal favorite movies from the year 1988. We're going to keep you in suspense there because it's Christmas. It's a present. It's a surprise. So you're just going to have to keep an eye out and watch for it to be posted and to see what it is. Before we go here, we, Paul likes to do a weekly ranking of what we've seen so far and of the movies this month and tell you what the top and just like which one's the best, what's the worst, and what's in between. So here we go. For me, so far, number 3, the worst movie we've seen so far this month, is Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. It's so boring. Absolutely nothing happens. Number 2, Santa Claus vs. the Zombies. Although extremely boring, and for the most part nothing happens because the subplot takes over the movie. Santa does blow up some zombies with his mind, maybe. And he does shoot a couple zombies with some air compression gun. He does kind of fight zombies, but, almost not really. And surprisingly, the best movie we've seen thus far this month is the 1996 slasher film, Santa Claus. Mostly because Debbie Rochon is hot and naked in the movie. And, Bill Heinzman gets me, like, a couple laughs, and he's, like, my hero, so Santa Claus 1996 is the best movie we've seen this month. What the fuck is wrong with us?
Okay, for me, I'm going to go with the worst movie so far that we've seen is Santa Claus vs. Zombies. It was boring and had no charm to it. coming in second is Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, which, although it's a bad movie. Hey, it was low budget and there was a charm to it. I can at least appreciate it. Wasn't. I didn't think it was as boring as Santa Claus versus Zombies. And number one, Santa Claus. I can't believe that. It's such a bad movie, but it still outranks these two.
Yeah, and we thought that would only be on top for 1 week, and it's on top for both of us for 3 weeks.
How is it even possible? This is ridiculous.
But I don't think it stands a chance next week. So yeah, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at BMovieBros. That's all one word. Like us on Facebook at B-movie space BROS, BMovieBros. Tweet or follow Paul directly at BMoviePaul. That's all one word. Our associates at the River's Edge would also like your support. That's riversedgepgh.com. So yeah, that's about it. Any last words?
No, that's about it. Really not much more to say about this movie.
Okay, until we meet again, be brave, be alive, be back next week.